Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you getting into my December closeout. We are starting with the weekly check-in, which is week 5 in my weekly check-in. It's only a couple days. It's just 3 transactions, very simple, and they each have their own category. So I don't have to do a lot of adding or anything like that, and that is where we are right now. Once I'm done with those transactions and closing out the budget for the weekly check-in, I will be moving on to paycheck 2, closing it out, which closes out my month of December completely. Today is New Year's Eve, the December 31st, and Happy New Year, everybody. I'm excited. I hope to get this video up today because I already have first of the month budgets coming up on the 1st and throughout the next month, where I've done them ahead of time a little bit. So yeah, so much happening, so many changes, all the things, but we're just going to put 2024 in the books, close it out, and just move on to 2025. And I'm excited to do that. And I'm excited to do that on New Year's Eve. It's kind of cool. So here we go. As you can see, I have 3 no spends here. This just tells me anything spent, I know on Monday or Tuesday, that will be counted in the month of January. And it's just how the paychecks fall. And actually, this one's in the wrong spot. I marked my paydays, I always do that, but this payday is marked on the wrong day. It actually came here when the income got deposited, so that works out pretty well. So I already have a lot of January's income here on these last 2 days of the month anyway, so might as well count the spending in the new year. Now the bills are already taken care of. I think about the 22nd or 23rd of every month is the end of when the bills are paid, and I don't have to think about it anymore, so I'm not worried about that. So we're just going to go ahead and dive into it. First thing I have here is restaurants. We ordered Papa John pizza for the family, $55.09. I already have it written down here, $55.09, so we're good to go there. Next thing I have here is grocery household, $54.66. Just got some odds and end items for the weekend. And groceries, I also, let's see, that's Saturday the 28th. I can't remember what I got exactly, but I did get odds and ends grocery stuff there. And that was $54.66, which I wrote right here. And then I have $28.98. And this is the same receipt, so it's a split receipt. Part of it was Meyer miscellaneous, and then part of it was grocery household. Even though I'm already over miscellaneous, I still wanted to track it and see how much over I really was in miscellaneous. And the reason being is my family still wanted some poppers. So if you've seen those $24.99 packages of Poppets and those little party things that the streamers come out, we do those every year, and my sons still love doing it and the family still want to do it, so I bought a pack. It's $24.99, plus my husband got $3.99 in washer fluid for his vehicle, so that is what that was right there, and that was the $28.98. So let's total how we did for the entire month of the weekly check-in. This is a great area just to really pay attention and notice, are you going over? Are you staying under? Are you funding it too much or too little? Whatever the situation may be. So that's what we're going to do right here. All right, so I know I was negative $17.81 in grocery household in week 4. We're still negative, so $17.81, and then I'm going to add this other negative of $54.66, and that gives me $72.47. I've already paid it. That's what these check marks mean in my notes. So I've paid the credit card already. I've already put the book, closed the books on 2024, but I haven't shared that with you guys, so that's what we're doing right here. So that is taken care of. Then I had $77.46 on restaurants. I over budgeted here, which was a good thing. I didn't know how much eating out we were going to do, and my son's birthday and all the things. So that was $55.09, and that was at one pizza. And I still had $22 left over, so I was really happy that we were within budget that time, especially I had adding to the budget in order to cover an extra meal throughout the week, because normally our eating out's on the weekend, so we are just really being more mindful of what we're spending, how much, where the money's coming from, and how much we have available, especially going into the new year, because I just don't have the same amount of money as I do this year going into the new year, because my husband and I are fully funding our Roth IRAs next year. And if you check out my monthly budget or my paycheck to paycheck budget coming in the new year for January of 2025, you'll see where we're adding those two line items, and it's reducing what available cash I have for spending. So yeah, it's going to be a little difficult, but we're going to work things out. And over time, the budget's going to change. It's going to change week to week, month to month. So you have to be flexible and allow the budget to be fluid in order to take care of the needs as well as the wants of the family. So that's what we're doing. So the next one we know we're over budget $58.92 in miscellaneous. So it's just one of those months. And then I also added $28.98 more. And so for the entire month of December, I was $87.90 over as far as miscellaneous goes. I only bought gas once this month. I'm not sure how I pulled that off. I know I got my vehicle back from the dealership at the end of the previous month and then filled it with gas. I guess just because I didn't drive anywhere, I didn't have to buy gas nearly as much as I normally do. And I wasn't taking people around. My parents live nearby. We didn't travel to visit anybody. And we were just homebodies this month. So gasoline, we still had 196, and I give myself $250 for that. So we only had like one real transaction for that. Copay, we covered all the doctor's appointments, and all the prescriptions, and we are good to go there for the month. So we had $62.86 left over. Next year, that's going to change. I think I'm going to drop it from $100 to $75 a month that I'm going to budget for it. And then if I know there's doctor's appointments, then that's fine. So I'll increase it as necessary. So that is the weekly check-in. That's the closeout where the numbers were. I'll show you how much we had left. We had, let's start with the bottom here and work our way up. $62.86 plus the $196.71 minus the $87.90 plus the $22.37 and minus the $72.47. And that gives me $121.57 total in all my combined spending categories left over for the month. So even though I was drastically over in these two areas, I still have money left over. So overall, I think we did a good job paying attention to the budget and knowing how much was actually in there overall. Not for the individual categories, but overall. So that plus, I think it was this $76.80 I had left over in the checking account. This is what was sitting in the checking account at the end of the month. Now, that's an important number right there, $198.37, because I used this number to pay down or pay off the Christmas debt as well as a few dollars into the vacation debt. If you know what I'm talking about, we went on vacation back in October, and instead of transferring funds from my high yield savings to pay it, because we pay zero interest on this credit card, I'm just letting it sit there and paying it off slowly. I don't like it because I feel the weight of it, but at the same time, which is a good reminder not to add more to it, but at the same time, I really want it gone. So I did find a way of making the money stretch and make this payment, and I will show you at the end of the video what that looked like. I do have a spending tracker for my credit card, and you can see how that works out. So now that I know these numbers and how much we spent since the last time I saw you guys, and we have what I spent here and what we spent here, these 3 spent weeks, if I total all them up by category, we're going to put them in here. So let's go ahead and go to Paycheck 2. Okay, we have a Paycheck 2 setup, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and fill in the numbers here on what was actually spent. Here's my Paycheck 2, and what it looks like. I did not increase in anything in the income section, so that would stay the same. I did not increase or decrease in the bill section, so that will stay the same. The one thing that fluctuates is this section, which is considered a variable spending categories. So there's that, and then I added pay down credit card. So I set that up. I didn't budget for it, but I am going to make a payment, so I want to make the balance and bring this balance to 0 is what we're looking at here. So I want to write how much grocery household was in total in the actuals. Now it's going to be higher than this number, as you saw, and I'm going to show you real quick exactly how I figured that out. So again, I have to take week 3, because paycheck 2 covers week 3, 4, and 5. Sometimes it's 3 and 4, and sometimes it's 3, 4, and 5, depending on the extra days at the end of the month or something like that. Grocery household on week 3, we had $492.23, and then we had $327.28, and then we're going to have $54.66. So in total, we actually spent $874.17. So that is how I go through and find out exactly how much. Actually, I don't go through this here. I use my spreadsheet in my computer, but the number is exactly the same, and that's where the number comes from. So we're going to write that number down, $874.17. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of these, and then we are going to do the paycheck 2 closeout. So this should be hopefully a quick and closeout for December and the end of the year. Restaurants, I have $273.11. Miscellaneous, I had 63.84. Now I'm not trying to math between the two. That just showed me that I had a negative budget coming into this paycheck period for the budgeted amount, but the actual spent is what this number is. So hopefully that doesn't confuse you. And gasoline, that is 0. Copay, that is 0. Wait a minute, that's not 0. What is copay? Gasoline was 0. $73.36. And then unbudgeted was 108. If you remember last week, we did a 108. I think it was last week, or either week 3 or week 4. 108. Struggling to write here. 32. And then now we have the pay down to credit card. So I'm going to show you how I figured out how much I'm paying down the credit card in order to come up with $0.00 and have nothing accounted for December in the bank account at the end of December. Now, again, on the 30th, my husband's income already hit for January, so that's just sitting there waiting to be used for January. So my bank account did not go to 0, but the money that impacted in December went to 0. So that's how I kind of distinguish that. So we're going to start here at the top, and that $198 is what we're going to put here, and I'll show you how I got it. So again, $1,076 plus the $1,413.55. That's same number there. I'm just double checking my math, and that's $2,414.31 there. And then this didn't change, and then we're going to total the actuals here, and then we're going to subtract the number to get the pay down to credit card. So we had $874.17 plus the $273.11 plus $63.84 plus $73.36 and the $108.32, which gave me $1,392.80. I'm going to write that number off to the side. Get a little sticky note here. $1,392.80. My memory's not that great, so I'll never remember it off the top of my head. And then I'm going to take the $2,414.31 minus the $823.14, and then minus the actuals here, which was $1,392.80, and that leaves me this $198.37, same number I showed you earlier, and that is where I'm putting here. This is what I transferred to the credit card from the checking account to pay down, not to pay down, but to pay off the Christmas debt and a little bit of the credit card vacation debt. So now that I add this number, I can take that plus the $1,392.80, and that gives me $1,591.17. Now if I do these numbers again, it should bring me back to zero. Minus 823.14 and then minus 1591.17. Yes, that's the same number. So I'm back to zero. And I think this was a successful month, even though I went over budget in a couple categories. It was a very successful month, and I am excited that this month is over. I'm sad that Christmas is over and celebrations are over, but I'm excited that the accounting side of this, the books, are taken care of, and 2024 is in the books, and I can move on to January. So that is where I'm at right now, and I am so excited about that. So let's take a look at one other thing before I finish out this video really quick and show you how this extra payment affected my credit card, and that would be back here where I track everything. So as you can see, there's the purchase for the 5509 Papa John's pizza that we got, and then that split purchase with Myers. I used both colors to indicate that pink was the grocery household, and that was the amount, and then this mint green color is actually the miscellaneous category, so that is where that $28.98 was assigned. So I write the split here, and then the total that was actually charged to a credit card was one purchase on the split receipt, and that's there. $337.10 is what I transferred. This included the $198. What was it? $198. $198.37 included that plus what I spent here, those two numbers combined, or those totals combined, and that was $337.10. And then I did have finally my apple.com charge for my Excel, Word, PowerPoint, all the things. And because of that, I moved money from my sinking funds and paid that exactly off. And then I also paid down with the credit card, not just the $198.37, I think that's it. I also paid down the credit card $150. This $150 was a rewards from a Visa rewards card. And what I do, I only cash out my Visa rewards card twice a year. Once around October, November timeframe. We usually vacation in the fall for a vacation, and it could be up to $1,000. And then again in at the end of the year, if we needed it for anything for Christmas and stuff like that and pay down stuff, that's kind of what we use it for. So that starting January of every year, the rewards start building all over again, and I wait all year to do it again. So I was able to make a payment and pay down some of that debt. So let me find my sticky note. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. I had to step away for a minute. My husband came home and we had a lengthy conversation for a couple hours and stuff. So now I'm back and I'm trying to remember what we talked about. But I do know where we kind of left off. I was explaining I had a $150 payment plus I paid another extra $198.37. Oh, geez, I forgot the number. $198.37. That is what we paid towards what debt was on the credit card. So what debt was on the credit card? Let's take a look at that. I have this written down on a sticky note here. Hopefully you can see that. That was $1,841.67. My original sticky note had something else, but this is the actual number. I went back to my old videos and looked it up to make sure I got it right. These numbers combined is the total debt between vacation and Christmas. So I definitely paid off the Christmas and then a little bit of vacation. So those two numbers combined, let's kind of put this side by side here. And I have $1,841.67, and then I have the $193.41. That gave me a balance of $2,035.08. There we go. So this is what I have to pay off. Now, when I made this $337.10 payment, part of it was the Papa John's and the groceries and the miscellaneous. So that was these two transactions here. So if I subtract $337.10 minus the $55.09 and minus the $83.64, that gives us the $198.37. That's the payment that went towards this debt. So that wiped out Christmas completely, which is good. So I'm subtracting the 198. I just put a new ink cartridge in this. Come on now. 37. Sorry for the sloppy handwriting. And then we're also going to subtract the 150 from this total, and that should give us this new number that I have going forward. So obviously the 198.37 was enough to wipe out 193.41, giving me $4.96 that went to the vacation plus the 150. So that's exactly how much that should bring the vacation down. 184, 167. I know I'm doing all this backwards. So that number matches. So let's do the math straight down. So I know I have $2,035.08 minus the 198.37, which is part of that payment, and minus the 150, which is this extra payment from the credit card rewards, and that gives me $1,686.71. That matches. We are good to go. So that is the new balance I'm going into the new year with, and I'm glad I was able to get it down that far. And each and every month, if there is money left over, which I know it's really, really tight, maybe the first 3 months I won't have any money left over, and hopefully I don't add to this, I definitely should be able to pay it off this year. So that's 12 months. If I can do $140 a month, that's actually pretty good. I'll have it paid off by the end of the year. And still no interest charge, because when I charge all my expenses on there, I pay those off every week. This is just above and beyond those expenses, and it's going to take me all year to pay them off. So I don't know if I'll get to this point, but we'll just keep chipping away at it each and every month if possible, regardless if it's $5 extra or nothing at all. We're just going to be mindful of where this is at and getting it paid off. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I'm excited to have a new year. I am working hard to be monetized this year. So if you'd like to be a part of that, I need more subscribers. I have watch hours. I just need subscribers. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and